Do you look at this whole Republican field, all 12 or 14 or 15 or 9, or however many end up running, do you look at that field and think, that's a pretty good field, that's a good group to choose from?
I'm a little overwhelmed.
You're a little overwhelmed.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's like, whoo, there's lots of people.
I think that it needs to be whittled down, and then to hopefully, somebody strong will rise to the top. And I think that's scary right now with that big, wide open field. I don't see a really good, strong candidate.
Does it matter to you whether that candidate has the potential to attract more women voters? Does that matter to you? Do you think about it that way at all?
No.
You don't think about it that way? No one. Okay. Does it matter to you whether the candidate who you support might have the prospect of being able to attract more support from Hispanic voters or African American voters or other ethnic minorities? Does that factor into your thinking at all, or do you just say that's not part of it?
Not part of it for me either.
Not part of it. Okay. How many of you know much about Scott Walker?
What I like about him, I think he's battle tested at least. I'm open to everything, but we need somebody who's battle tested. I think, but that will fight back. Who will
strong personality.
Yeah, and I think he will.
One of the things that's true about Scott Walker that's unusual is the fact that he doesn't have a degree from college. Is that important to you? Do you think a president should have a college degree, or is that irrelevant?
It's irrelevant.
Let me ask you, I'm asking a show of hands. Is there anybody in the room who thinks that not having a college degree is disqualifying? You wouldn't vote for someone without a college degree?
I hate to say that, but I think that it's bothersome to me.
Right. Because?
I don't know why. I can't tell you, but it just strikes me as I think that the President of the United States should have a college degree.
If he was nobody, I think it would bother me, but because he's been a successful politician and a good governor, it doesn't bother me because he's proved himself.
He's already jumped the hurdles.
Yeah.
He comes across as being genuine and having his thoughts in order about a lot of issues.
Obviously, the people in Wisconsin have elected him 3 times in the last 6 years, so.
What do you know about Marco Rubio?
I like his background, and I just like the way he looks. And I saw him a little bit on TV last night. I thought, man, he's talking good stuff.
Okay, you got a little bit of a crush on Marco Rubio.
I do. I think the kids call it crushing now. I'm crushing on him.
He is the American dream. I think that's essential. That he's folks get refugees from Cuba, and he built himself up, and so he's kind of a self-made man. I think he still gives a lot of credit to his parents and stuff, but I think that's what we look for in the United States.
You hear some Republicans who say, I think he looks like the future, but the last time we voted for someone in the middle of their first term in the Senate, we got Barack Obama, and he wasn't experienced enough to be president. So does it bother anybody in the room, the idea that Marco Rubio has only been in Washington for a few years and hasn't even finished 1 term in the Senate? Does that bother anybody?
I don't think Obama's problem is his lack of experience. It's his lack of integrity and his pushing things through and all of that. That has nothing to do with lack of experience. It's a character issue.
I second that.
So it wouldn't bother me.
Last week in the media, there was a lot of discussion about Jeb Bush and his views of the Iraq War, the war that his brother started. And I just want to know how much you guys have heard about that.
I wish he would have, and he should have known that question was coming.
He was in a hard place, and those real good politicians can shuffle ball change out of those places like that.
It's in the past. Just let it go. Like he said, learn from it. Move on. There's more crap to worry about right now that's right in our faces.
Is there anybody in this room who is, A, who thinks Common Core is important, and B, who knows about Jeb Bush's position and is bothered by it? Nobody in the room.
I have to, what is Common Core? I guess I don't understand that.
In terms of Jeb Bush, have you heard about his positions on immigration, and do they bother you? Anybody in the room?
I've not heard his position on it.
If it's not any of those specific things that bother you, why is there nobody in the room who's either more enthusiastic or more curious about him?
I think he's his own man, but I think it's just such a negative connotation when you see that Bush name that people get turned off and they don't even know why they get turned off.
Well, and I would agree. He's got a name problem that he's got to have to overcome.
That's the thing he's fighting. I think he'd make a good candidate, but I do think it's just because of the name, he just is such a negative connotation that people just automatically get turned off.
I don't know if he can beat Hillary because it goes back to a Bush versus Clinton. What's going to happen? That scares me. Yeah, I don't have a problem with him or learning about him, but I am really worried.
Wouldn't be any different than the Clinton side. So if we are looking for electability, maybe take both out and start with somebody new.
I think our country's a country, and it should be run by like a business, and I don't think it should be run like a family business. And that's what's going to happen, I think, if we get him in. And I just think he seems to fall a little bit into his brother's footstep. He's not anywhere near as charismatic as a dad, and that's too bad.
It's too bad that that's his last name, because I think people are really going to hold that against him, and I don't think they should. That's not fair, but it's reality.
What do you guys know about Carly Fiorina?
She's a woman.
That is true.
She talks pretty straight. I think she could hold her own with anybody in a bar fight or a discussion, you know.
Try against Hillary and see how
She
that
could give Hillary a run for her money.
Oh, yeah, I think she could.
I've heard positive things about her, that she is a good communicator and that she does know what she's talking about. I've heard positive things.
Nobody's enthusiastic about the idea of another Rick Perry run?
I like Rick Perry, but I don't think he would be elected. He's just kind of a third-place horse, so to speak.
So, Crystal, are you interested in Huckabee this time around, or do you feel as though his time has passed?
No, I'm interested. I think he was smart to be on TV and get his name out there. So he is one I'm watching.
Okay. What about you, Craig?
I liked him. Used to watch him on his Fox show quite a bit.
Right.
And I think he's very intelligent. I think he really means what he says. But again, I don't know if he can bring the whole. I'm just so hung up on somebody who can bring everybody together.
I believe he's going to continue to stand on his morals, and we need that. We need somebody who's going to stick to our Constitution and stick to what our founding fathers wanted our country to be.
I think he's too conservative for the country. Maybe not for Iowa, but for the country as a whole.
What has Rick Santorum done wrong? He won the Iowa caucuses last time, and I got a bunch of Iowans here. Crystal, are you not interested in Rick Santorum?
Said he didn't win.
He didn't win.
So why would I put all of our energy behind him again?
Right. The fact that he didn't become the Republican nominee, you feel like he had his chance last time.
That might be harsh, but yes.
Well,
he had the momentum coming out of Iowa, and he
did
did not do it. So what makes us think that he could do it again the next time? I think that's what you're getting at.
Yeah, what's different this time than last time?
And that happens in Iowa here a lot, is the people that we like or choose doesn't seem to follow through. Or it's not like they're not following through, but the country doesn't follow through.
And it seems like every time we go in, look at the Santorum, look at Huckabee, they're too conservative for the country. And as soon as they leave Iowa, they're done. Right. They're done.